Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and welcome to the 2025 Seven Mothers campaign brought to you by the ISKCON Vaishnavi Ministry. Today we are joined by Her Grace Ujjwala Radha Prabhu from Hyderabad, India. Now, as per our Vedic injunctions, we all have seven mothers in our life, with each mother playing a significant role. For this campaign, which is based on the seven mothers, we will be delving into the importance of these mothers, examining each so that we can cultivate proper respect for our mothers. Today, with Ujjwala Radhe Prabhu, we will be learning more about Dhatri or the nurse. First of all, thank you so much, Prabhu, for being here with us today, for taking out time from your busy schedule, and for being here for this particular interview.
It's my pleasure to reconnect with the Vaishnavi Ministry, and I'm really inspired by the tremendous services and contribution that this beautiful ministry is making, and I really wish you all the very best. Thank you for inviting me for this show.
Right. So, to begin with, now before we begin, of course, I should be introducing and I would be introducing you all to our guest for today. So, Her Grace Ujjwala Radhe Prabhu comes from a traditional South Indian family in Andhra Pradesh. She joined the Hare Krishna movement in the year 2005 during her internship at the Dental Hospital in Hyderabad. Ever since then, she has been very active in youth preaching and conducting systematic courses and training for young girls across India and overseas. She's an author, speaker, life coach, and a psychologist, and that's where she brings her variegated academic experience into teaching the Shastras. So, to make the scriptures relevant to the current generation is her central focus. You would be delighted to know that she has authored the book The Woman Who Rebuilt. That is the authentic tale of Draupadi with 8 empowering lessons. Currently, she offers Vedic courses at the IITs, BITS, and other educational institutions. And she also heads the Girls' Voice of the satellite centers at ISKCON Hyderabad. So she and her good husband, His Grace Sudama Gopal Prabhu, serve as official counselors at ISKCON, and together they also run a Gurukul named the Mudgala Rishikulam. So thank you so much once again for being here with us today, Prabhu.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Yashika.
now time for the invocation. Time to remember Srila Prabhupada, our great acharyas. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, to our acharyas, and all the Vaishnavas. Okay, so to begin with, Prabhu, I'd like to ask you that can you please give us certain insights, your insights on the concept and the significance of the seven mothers in our Shastras, and specifically about the concept and the role of Dhatri, the nurse, and also how expansive this entire idea of the Dhatri is.
Thank you, Yashika. So, the concept of mother and motherhood, yes, is as old as the creation. So, it is said that the child gives birth to a mother, as against the mother who gives birth to the child. Yeah? So, this beauty of motherhood is within and without everything. So, in the Chanakya Niti, Chanakya Pandita has given us 7 mothers who are to be worshipped and looked at. In fact, our Vedic tradition is so beautiful, that it is said the very first tenet of education is Matravat Paradhareshu. Every woman is supposed to be looked at as one's own mother. Matravat Paradhareshu. That is the first tenet of education. So this is the beauty of the Vedic tradition, the traditional Indian education. So, Chanakya Pandita has given us this beautiful collection of 7 mothers who are mothers and mother equivalent, who are to be worshipped on equal level. Yeah, so who are these 7 mothers? Atma Mata. Atma Mata is one's own mother. Atma Mata Guru Patnihi. Yeah, Atma Mata Guru Patnihi Brahmani Rajapatnika Dhenu Dhatri Tatha Prithvi. Yeah, so these are the 7 mothers. So first is Atma Mata. Atma Mata is one's biological mother, own mother. Then Guru Patnihi, that is the wife of the Guru or the spiritual master. Brahmani, she's a lady Brahmana. Yeah, Brahmani. Rajapatnika, the mother, the wife of the king. Yeah, Rajapatnika. Then Dhenur, the cow. Dhatri, nurse. And Tatha Prithvi. Prithvi is the earth. Yeah. So Saptaita Matraha Smritaha. Yeah, Saptaita Matraha Smritaha. So these Saptaita, all these 7 mothers are considered as mothers. So today, our topic of discussion is specifically about Dhatri of the 7 mothers. So let us try to understand the etymology of Dhatri. What is the word Dhatri? Yeah, so Dhatri comes from the root word dhr. So in every Sanskrit word, it has its etymology. That is, it's coming from a root word. So Dhatri is coming from the root word dhr. So dhr means to hold or to support. Yeah. So, and Dhatri, Dhatri as a word would mean something that sustains, something that holds, or something that nourishes or nurtures is a Dhatri. So Dhatri actually has different meanings from a linguistic perspective, and what it is in the Ayurvedic dimension, or how it is looked upon in the Shastras and in different texts. Yeah. So actually in Ayurveda, it is said Dhatri is actually referring to a very rejuvenating medical preparation, which has many healing properties. It is also speaking about the tree called Amla, yeah, Emblica officinalis. That is the gooseberry. So this tree is also called Dhatri, again for its nourishing properties. And so we see the reference of Dhatri also given in the Srimad Bhagavatam in various places. Yeah. So essentially, so we will come to that in the later part of the discussion. So essentially what is to be understood is Dhatri refers to a wet nurse. Who's a wet nurse? So essentially, she is the one who feeds a baby with her breast milk. So it could be one's own mother, or sometimes for some reason, if the mother is unable to provide milk to the offspring. So there were some wet nurses who, apart from giving other care to the baby, they also used to give their own milk for the upbringing of the child. So that's the exact meaning of Dhatri as a wet nurse. So So these are the different dimensions of understanding this word Dhatri. So essentially, Dhatri means one who sustains. Also, if you see the actual meaning of Dhatri, also Lord Brahma is called Dhatra. Dhatra because he is the creator and the sustainer of this universe. So it has a very multi-dimensional meaning. But if you go to the core of it, Dhatri means one who nourishes, one who nurtures, yeah, and one who heals. So in essence, this particular quality of being a Dhatri is, it can be appreciated in all the seven mothers. Yeah, that we have just spoken about. So, and so I will just give you some examples so that it's easier for us to appreciate this quality of Dhatri in even other seven mothers. So first, let's start with Dhatri itself, the nourishing capacity. If you see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his initial name was Vishwambhar, as we all know. Yeah, Vishwambhar. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a beautiful verse that speaks about how Vishwambhar has fulfilled his name. Yeah, Vishwambhar means Vishwa, one who nurtures or nourishes this entire universe. And what he wanted to nourish this entire universe with love of God. So that's how Vishwambhar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is like that Dhatri, the one who nourished the entire universe with the love of God, which is the real original thirst of every soul. So this is how we appreciate the understanding of Dhatritva in starting with Mahaprabhu himself. Yes. So now let us go and try to reflect upon this quality from each of the seven mothers' examples. The first mother, as we've seen the seven mothers, Atma Mata, one's biological mother. So we can appreciate this beautiful quality, let's say, with the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, Yashoda Mai. Yeah, what was her nurturing ability? Yeah, that was, even Queen Kunti was bewildered by the power of Yashoda Mai's Vatsalya. Yeah, so Queen Kunti is no ordinary soul. She is the mother of the five Pandavas. In fact, it is by her prayers, by her devout prayers, Lord Krishna promised and ensured that the five Pandavas will remain alive in the Kurukshetra battle. And much true to his promise, Krishna ensured that all the five Pandavas remained alive and he returned them back to Kunti. So that's the power of her prayers, and that was the glory of her motherhood. And she herself, in her beautiful prayers, called the Kunti Stuti, which come in the 8th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So she, in a very indirect way, she glorifies the position of Yashoda Mai. So Queen Kunti is a very, very special, extraordinary lady, that she's the one, although living amidst the Vrishnis and, amidst the the atmosphere of Hastinapura, and with Krishna around, playing the role of her nephew. Yes, but still, she was the one who recognized that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She could see his Aishwarya. So she says in the Kunti Stuti, she offers her prayer, saying that, "Oh Lord, you are the Supreme Person, but seeing whom even fear personified fears. But the way, Mother Yashoda has bound you with a rope for the offense of breaking the milk pot, the butter pot. She actually came to punish you, and she bound you with the rope. And this vision of you trembling in fear, yeah, and and tears gushing out of your eyes, which is disturbing your mascara. This vision is bewildering. Yeah. So this vision is bewildering me. So this is what Queen Kunti, through this beautiful poem, she is indirectly appreciating the position of Mother Yashoda. And what is the greatness of Mother Yashoda's love? That by the power of her love, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is feared by fear personified, is now simply trembling in fear and just getting bound by an ordinary rope. Yeah, she couldn't fathom this. Yeah, and she's appreciating the great love of Yashoda Mai, by the power of whose love Krishna just got bound. He never let his Aishwarya to be, you know, accessed by Mother Yashoda. Because if Mother Yashoda had even a small realization, or perhaps experience of Krishna's Aishwarya Bhav, she wouldn't go and punish him. So she was totally wheeled, by the Ichha Shakti of Lord Krishna. Because he wanted to simply taste that Vatsalya Ras of Yashoda Mai. And he was sold out to that love. So that is the glory of Yashoda Mai's unconditional love for Krishna. And the way she nourishes Lord Krishna is, we see from the beautiful pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam and Gopala Champu and other such scriptures, the details. Every day see, when Krishna comes early morning, waking up after hearing my Yashoda Mai singing songs, glorifying him, he just wakes up from his sleeps and just comes to her face to face. And at that time Yashoda Mai was churning butter, for Krishna. See, this is Dhatri nourishing. And as soon as she sees Krishna and she remembers Krishna, milk was oozing out of her breast. So this is again Dhatri, nourishing potency of the mother. So, then seeing Lord Krishna come, she put her work aside. She took him on his lap and she fed him. This is nurturing. Yeah. And we see that even through the life of Lord Krishna, Yashoda Mai used to prepare elaborate preparations to satisfy her beloved son. Yeah, the quality of the milk she used, the number of preparations she made, and just because she heard that Lord, Srimati Radharani has this boon given by Durvasa Muni, that whenever she cooks, her food tasted by her preparations. The preparations that she makes, if anybody tastes that, would be ensured of all good things in life. When she heard that blessings of Durvasa Muni, she personally invited Radharani to cook for Krishna. So, this is how Yashoda Mai had given such nourishment to her own son, Lord Krishna. So that's, the example of Atma Mata, biological mother. Yes, and we see, of course, in our own example, in our lives, our mothers, what they give us is something we can never think of. We can't even think of repaying. It's just nourishment. We receive, we absorb. We are what we are today because of our mothers. Yes. So Atma Mata, biological mother. So there's this popular saying that if you want to understand what is unconditional love, then it's the mother's love that comes closest to the definition of unconditional love. That is Atma Mata, biological mother. Then Guru Patnihi. So Guru Patni is the wife of Guru, the spiritual master. So in the olden days, when the children used to study in the Gurukula, we also see that how Lord Ram has studied in the Gurukul of Vashishta. His good wife Arundhati, she was looked upon as a mother by all the students. And Lord Ram had, when he was leaving to Vanavas, there is an instance that he personally sought her blessings before he left. So that is the importance a Guru Patni is given. Yes, so that is Guru Patni. Yeah, you want to say something, Yashika?
No, I'm just agreeing with what you're saying, bro. Just relishing it. Please go on.
Okay, yes. So, and also we also see in Chaitanya Charitamrita the position of Mother Janva Devi, who is the consort of Nityananda Prabhu. I mean, it's so beautiful, the pastimes we get to read in the Nityananda Charitamrita and Bhakti Ratnakar. Bhakti Ratnakar especially provides very beautiful insights into the pastimes of Janva Devi. She, like be it the Kheturi festival or anywhere she went, she nourished people, the Vaishnavas especially, with her teachings, with her blessings, with her great association. Yeah, and also wherever she went, she cooked with so much love. It is said that the people, the devotees, who simply tasted the food cooked by Janva Mata, ecstatic, pure, unalloyed devotion erupted in their heart. And just by honoring that prasadam, they used to cry tears of love of God. This was her nourishing capacity. Yeah. Guru Patnihi. And we see also in the nourishing, nurturing capacity, the Brahmani. Brahmani, we see the example of the Dvijapatnis in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Yeah, when the Yajnik Brahmanas were so engrossed in their ritualistic sacrifices, so much so when the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, who is Yajneshwar, the one to be pleased with all the yajnas, he came as a person. Personally, he sent the Gopakumaras to ask for some food. He said, no, 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 we didn't finish our yajnas. Yeah. But the the Dvija Pratnis, their beloved wives, they were in much exalted consciousness. So when when the Gopas went back to Krishna and told him that no, the Yajnik Brahmanas did not finish their rituals, so they're not willing to give us any food. And Krishna says, go to their wives and ask them. So Krishna knew very well what was the static devotion that was in the heart of these Dvijapatnis. He knew that. And that's how, he sent the Gopas again to them. And when the Dvijapatnis got to know that Lord Krishna and Balaram, they just came and they're just waiting in the forest, they just left everything. They saw them as the culmination of all their activities, of all their desires, of all their endeavors, of all their practices, of all their aspirations, of all their ambitions. So Swayam Krishna has come and he's waiting. So just left behind everything. They didn't even care to take the permission of their husbands. They took all the preparations and went to satisfy Sri Govinda and Balaram, who were waiting in the forests. Yes, so this is the Dvijapatnis, were the Brahmanis. The Brahmanis generally have this, the soft, nurturing heart, to give that nourishment to anyone who approached them. Rajapatnika. Yeah, Rajapatnika is a wife of the king. So we see this in the example of Draupadi, who is the beloved wife of the Pandavas. The Mahabharata beautifully explains how, as the beloved wife of the Pandavas, as the queen, as the empress, she took care of the entire kingdom. She was the first one to wake up and the last one to sleep. She not only took care of the needs of her husbands, but she took care of the needs of all the servants and the attendants. It is said that of the thousands and lakhs of the attendants and the servants she had, she kept a note of everyone. She knew their names and she knew their individual talents and strengths, and she engaged them accordingly. She knew the entire revenue of the kingdom, and she was the only one who knew it. Yes. And she took care of even the shepherd community and the cowherd community. And any ritual like the Rajasuya Yajna, etc., she personally came and served all the Brahmanas. And she ensured that everyone ate, and she was always the last one to eat. So this was how, like, the entire kingdom truly looked up to her as a mother. And that is why. So, so when the Pandavas, along with Draupadi, then they were uh, sent on the exile, and as they were walking through the streets of Hastinapur, so all the citizens of Hastinapur, just looking at their, you know, their disposition, especially that of Draupadi's, they wailed. They couldn't contain their anguish. They cried out. So why they had that connect, that respect towards Mother Draupadi as their own mother. So this is how Rajapatnika is also, equivalent to a mother to the citizens, in the way that she nurtures them, by engaging them and providing for them. And also the citizens look up to the wife of the king as one's own mother and address her as a mother. So we appreciate this through the life and the various dealings of Queen Draupadi in the Mahabharata. So, so we have spoken about four mothers so far: Atma Mata, one's biological mother; Guru Patni, like the wife of the spiritual master; Brahmani, the Brahmana; and Rajapatnika. The next is Dhenu. Dhenu is the cow. So the cow, I mean, there is nothing to speak about the nurturing ability of the cows. Yeah. Cows are the economy of a particular country is very much defined by two things: the number of cows a person has and the number of stock of grains the person has. This is real economy. Everything else is artificial. Yes. If you want to define prosperity, it's based on these two parameters: number of cows a person has and the number of stock of grains the person has. So cows are, the symbol of prosperity because they give. That's why the name Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is one who fulfills one's desires. Yeah, it's a desire fulfilling cow. So the cows are very much an integral and a pivotal, aspect of the Vedic civilization. In fact, even the spiritual world is named after the cows. Yeah, Goloka. So that's a special significance and place of the cows. So how do we understand the nurturing ability of the cows? Yes, the cow's milk is what, Srila Prabhupada in many of his purports of Bhagavatam writes about how the tissues, the finer tissues of the brain, are nourished by cow's milk. Yeah, this is how important cow's milk is. If you want the Brahminical civilization or, work to flourish, yeah, or if you want to see that the head of the society is to be in place, then, cow has equivalent importance and significance. And there's a very sweet pastime in the in Krishna Leela. That is when Lord Krishna kills Putana and he was lying on the dead body. And all the gopis and Yashodamai were so frantic, searching for Krishna here and there. They finally find him on the body of Putana. So Gopa brings the baby Krishna back to the hands of Mother Yashoda. Then, with such uh, anxiety, they immediately grab Krishna in their hands. And it's interesting how they ensured protection of Lord Krishna is they take him to a cow. Yeah. They take him to a cow, and Mother Yashoda takes the tail of the cow and simply waves that tail around Krishna. And this is their understanding of giving protection to a child. And not just that, this like um, after waving the pucha, the tail of the cow around Lord Krishna, they go and they bathe him in gomutra. This is a process of giving protection to this child according to the Brajvasis. Yeah, so all the gopis take the baby Krishna and bathe him in gomutra. Yeah. And after bathing him in gomutra, they smear his body with godhuli, that is a dust raised by the hoofs of the cows. Yeah. And then after that, they anointed the 12 parts of his body, like how we put tilak. With cow dung, they have anointed. And after that, they chanted some mantras. And this was how they invoked protection of baby Krishna. So it's so interesting to see how, in the Vedic civilization, the cow, Dhenu, played such an integral role in nourishing, nurturing, and even protecting. We do so much called Go Raksha, right? Protection of cows. But here's much Mother Yashoda, who's using cow products for the protection of Krishna. So this is the nurturing capacity of Dhenu, just cow. So the next is Dhatri. Dhatri is what I have already explained with the example of Mahaprabhu himself. And Prithvi. Prithvi is Mother Earth. Yeah, Mother Earth nurtures. These days, most of the healing therapies are centered around connecting back to nature. Yeah. So living close to nature, even an activity as simple as walking barefoot on the ground, on the beach or on the lawn or somewhere, in a day, somehow or the other, you have to touch your feet to the ground. Yes, this particular therapy is very healing. It has shown to have brought down the stress levels to a great extent and also healed people of many ailments. Yeah, that's the nurturing and healing nature of earth. Yeah. And even Bhagavatam, fourth canto, this beautiful pastime of Prithu Maharaj and how he has tried to punish Mother Earth because of her not giving its gifts even after performing the yajna. Then Mother Earth takes the form of a cow and she tries to escape in fear and then faces Prithu Maharaj and offers her prayers and explains about her situation. Yeah, she tells that yes, Lord Brahma has given the seeds and all the opulences, but when adharmic people multiply and they fail to perform the yajnas, and such people, if they misutilize my gifts for their own exploitative sense gratification, that is when I withdraw from giving my gifts to them. Very clear why some places on earth, they face famine, shortage, etc. Yeah. It is simply because of the increase in adharma. So after that, when she was, when she understood the greatness and glory of Prithu Maharaj, she offers prayers to him And she then agrees to give all her gifts. And then, all the different devas, they take the form of calf and go to extract milk from her because she's in the form of a cow. Yeah, then they send, Brihaspati as a calf. They send Prahlad Maharaj as a calf, representing the asuras. Brihaspati representing the demigods. Then they send Takshaka representing the snakes. In that way, like every representative of one group, takes the form of a cow, and they draw the nourishing milk from Mother Earth, who was in the form of a cow. So in that way, she gave her milk in the form of medicine. And she gave milk in the form of various opulences. One of the names of Prithvi, Bhumi Devi, is Vasundhara. She's also called Ratnagarbha. That is one who holds, Dhara means one who holds so many opulences in her womb. Yeah, so we know that Earth is full of, she's giving rise to all the crops, trees with such variegatedness, and within her womb are so many precious jewels. So, and she nurtures the entire living entities and sustains them through food, grains, and all supplies of minerals and precious stones. Yeah. So in this way, we appreciate this nourishing capacity of dhatritva in all the seven mothers. So I hope this is a good introduction to the subject matter of dhatri aspect, the nurturing aspect of a mother.
That definitely is, Prabhu, and I must say you expounded on the quality of Bhakti so beautifully, and the way you connected it to each mother out of the seven mothers. It was so beautiful, and it was very, very insightful for me. And I'm sure to all those watching this episode, it must have been very beautiful and insightful, all of, and of course, lots and lots to learn. This is one portion of this episode that all the viewers are going to go over again and again, because no matter how much you learn these things, they can never be enough unless and until you truly absorb. Okay, so a question that I had right from the start, the moment you actually defined Dhatri as the one who nurtures, sustains, and heals. It's been that when we look at present day, okay, 2025, and especially when we look at our Hare Krishna movement, the ISKCON ecosystem, somewhere can we say that the preachers, the Namahat leaders, especially preachers such as you, who are shelters for girls like us, preacher mentors who nourish us with spiritual wisdom, who hold us in times of crisis, and who show us the path of bhakti, always guiding us. Do we also see dhatritva in them? Can we also connect it that way?
Oh, definitely, definitely. That's a beautiful connection that you made, Yashika. It speaks of your grateful heart and your personal connection with the nourishing leaders of our society. Definitely, that is why we address women as mothers. Yes. So because, I mean, see, this dhatritva is not just it is very much manifest in women. It is also a quality that is also present in men. So it's the nurturing capacity and the quality is also present in men, but it is more manifest in femininity and in females. And certainly in our own community, we are so fortunate to see such great examples. Like if we see the life and biographies of great leaders like Yamuna Mataji, our glorious disciples of Prabhupada, how Yamuna Mataji is to nourish the hearts of so many devotees through her beautiful kirtans and the amazing prasadam that she used to, the beautiful bhoga she used to make for the Lord and offer to the devotees. And many, many current contemporary leaders, who nurture the communities through their presence, through their, the way they distribute prasadam and the way they shelter so many people. There are many examples even in our contemporary system within our ISKCON society. And so we are so fortunate to be a part of this beautiful society where this particular quality has been given a beautiful platform, for sheltering, for giving real shelter for so many souls. Yeah, so that's a very nice observation from your end.
Actually, yes. I mean, I would like to give the credits to Her Grace Karuna Shakti Prabhu, actually, who enlightened me with this little detail on, which is a very significant detail, I must say, a very significant detail on the concept of Bhakti as we see today. Um, so thank you so much for your answer, Prabhu. And my last question to you would be, because definitely we have time restrictions, and it was a pretty expansive and extensive interview that we had. We got to learn a lot. My last question would be, because we also see that you rightly pointed out in your answer that that is the reason we address women in ISKCON as mothers, as Matajis. So, how can we actually cultivate the right respect for mothers, for their nourishing capacity and whatsoever? How to actually cultivate that right consciousness, that right mindset? And this goes across genders and across communities.
So the right respect, see, respect is inherent in the Vedic civilization. Yeah, it is, and being forgetful and ingrate is the concept of materialistic civilization. So, and just like, for example, in Vedic civilization, that every day, one would wake up and a definition of a fortunate person is one who can actually see his parents on a daily basis. Such a person is called very fortunate. Yeah. So these days, we live in nuclear families. It's quite a different culture we are in. But one of the definitions of being fortunate is to have the darshan of your parents on a daily basis. That's the civilization where we touch the feet of our parents, mother especially. Especially before we go out anywhere, one of our traditions to touch their feet. Yeah, and seek blessings before we leave. So this respect is an integral part, an integral culture. But currently we see, especially as teenagers, there is a tendency to be very forgetful of, not even forgetful, taking it for granted. Yeah, taking things for granted, taking the love for granted, taking the presence, and all the number of selfless sacrifices that have been performed during our brought up, all these things are taken for granted. Yeah. So it need not be a very formal reciprocation that need to be conducted by performing a pompous event to express one's gratitude. That's not needed. Yeah, maybe once in a while, that's okay. But even on a daily basis, to maintain that demeanor of respect and gratitude in the way one interacts, in the way one, it can be as simple as if mama is cooking in the kitchen, you know, for a moment, just go be with mom and say, Mom, can I help you? Can I be with you? Can I just cut the vegetables? I mean, this means so much to the mother. It can be as simple as that. So this is respect should be ingrained in the culture and should be very much interweaved in the dynamics of interaction, no matter who you are, where you are. So that's respect is to be meant for all, yeah, and especially for the mothers. And what the one of the aspect one should not overlook is about taking things for granted and uh, being forgetful, and being ingrate to what has been given to us. And that should be observed by each and every one. I hope that answered, Yashika.
Definitely, it answers. So respect is very, very integral to the way our society has always operated, and it should be integral to the way we live every day. And it is for all, and especially for mothers. And respect is something which needs to be practiced.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.